Coming up on ATV News. Take a look. How many people do you think were able to cram inside a bug?
2 weeks ago, this stage was all about fun and entertainment. But after the pageant was over, things got heated up. We'll show you why.
In weather, find out if we'll keep enjoying the sunshine through fall break.
In sports, volleyball kept one streak alive while ending another. And Quidditch, is it a real sport?
All that and more, this is ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Jeffrey Dada.
And I'm Caroline Liston.
After Mr. Engineering offended some people with his controversial skit, he got some online backlash.
The controversy has brought up university-wide discussions about being respectful to all students and cultures. Our Taylor Condi went out to get an update on the issue.
No, I'm not a racist.
That's what Mr. USU contestant Nicholas Cortez said after being accused as a racist because of his talent. Cortez titled his act How to Survive in Mexico and wore a sombrero and poncho. His intention was to speak Spanish and share jokes his friends from Chihuahua, Mexico told him to say.
I felt bad afterwards, but I mean, everything I had talked with, I got a bunch of Mexican friends and I had showed them what I was going to say and they thought it was hilarious.
But to some members of the audience, his talent went too far.
We had a lot of creative acts and then his got up and it just got awkward. He said some things that I would perceive as prejudicial and stereotypical.
Even those who were not at the event felt the wave go across campus. At first it was shock, and then things got heated up a bit. Students took their thoughts to Twitter, voicing their opinion of Cortez's act. But USU student body president Trevor Olson was surprised by how students reacted and said they took it too far on social media.
I think with this situation, people just didn't realize how far they had gone. It's really easy to go little by little. And I think just to help people be aware that we need to be kind and respectful in all situations, and that even if somebody is disrespectful, we can respond in a respectful manner to that person.
But there's one thing Cortez wants you to know.
If anyone's upset, they can come talk to me.
And Olson believes there is something for everyone to learn.
From this, we can learn that we need to be more sensitive of how people feel, especially regarding race, and we also need to be more sensitive of how we interact with people on the internet.
Taylor Condi, ATV News.
Olson is working on a campaign against cyberbullying at USU. A 10-year-old boy is dead after a hunting accident Saturday night. This is footage taken last weekend in Blacksmith Fork Canyon on the way to where the incident happened. Zachary Woodruff was sitting between the fenders of a four-wheeler trying to stay warm. A hunting companion pulled up next to him and got off his four-wheeler. When he removed his rifle, it went off, hitting the boy. Around 7:30 p.m., Cache County rescuers and Life Flight responded but found him dead on the scene. Deputies are still investigating gun safety violations.
We're not saying that none of these were violated at this time, but we'd like everybody to remember these things so that hopefully the rest of the hunt goes well and we don't have any other problems like this.
The family is still in shock and has asked for their privacy at this time.
Logan City, Walmart, and a group of beavers are living harmoniously today after a pond leveling project on Monday. Last year, a beaver dam like this was torn down to prevent flooding. This year, a solution was developed to keep it there. Experts determined the maximum water level for the pond and then put on an overflow system to go over the dam. This preventative step should keep the pond from flooding the Walmart parking lot and the street. Though the pond has never flooded before, officials say this is a win-win.
Different parties can come together and come to a solution that benefits a whole bunch of folks. I mean, you know, Walmart doesn't want to be lethally removing beavers. We don't want that to happen.
Bao said this solution is also more cost-effective than trapping beavers or removing their dam.
Utah State researchers brought in a record amount of funding this year.
This is a hematite-coated fault surface.
To Alexis Alt, this is what research looks like. rocks. She is a professor contributing to the $232 million in funding. Alt is also one of the 18 USU faculty members that returned from Washington, D.C. to meet with federal agencies to discuss research funding. Faculty asks agencies to fund their research projects, and the record year is a result of that. Many of USU researchers are also professors who use their discoveries in the classroom.
The types of research that my research group is doing is directly transportable to that class.
You want a professor to walk out of the laboratory, go into the classroom, and say, "You will not believe what I just discovered. Let me share this with you."
This is the second fiscal year in a row where the university has brought in a record amount of funding.
Coming up, find out how zombies help one local group earn some cash. And
pretty empty. We'll show you what it takes to make this place scary.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Psst, they're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
welcome back. You are watching the show right now thanks to computer programmers who make it possible. Some of them put together a convention here at USU on Saturday. Our Christopher Campbell went there to show you how they can influence our technology.
This is the second version of a drone which Kenny Fryer Ludwig built after crashing the first one.
Today I'm just finishing up the rebuild and then testing it out. Once it works, I want to go through and redo some of the software on it,
which he hopes will help balance it better. While all the fun of flying the drone happens outside, programming it to perform properly starts with code on a computer screen.
it allows for a lot more fine control. And
Fryer Ludwig is working on his programming at Hack USU, where fellow computer enthusiasts watch YouTube videos and help each other learn more about coding.
the way that I do things is usually pretty inefficient, and so seeing other people and how they do their own things, whether it's a drone or whether it's a website or something else altogether, you can still learn from that and apply it to whatever you're doing right now.
Organizers say Hack USU aims to get people interested in computer science.
Any field is going to have to deal with technology in some form or another. We need those people with those critical thinking skills and the problem solving skills, and as well as the programming skills that computer science really can teach in all fields.
The event was open to middle schoolers as well. One of them says the best part of coding is watching a program work.
Watching other people go through the program, like if it's a game, watching them play it, or if it's just like a password, just watching it succeed, and the program working is the greatest part.
As for Fryer Ludwig, he's still got some work to do before it's perfect.
Sorry.
Christopher Campbell, ATV News.
Organizers are setting up another Hack USU event on November 6th and 7th.
You know the characters in the Haunted Hollow, but do you know the people behind the masks? Our Alicia Facer went out to look into the secret behind the spooks, and she joins us live now in the newsroom. Alicia.
Thanks, Caroline. How do I look right now? Pretty scary?
Yeah, scarier than normal.
Well, some things are scary in the moment, But when you find out what goes on behind the scenes, it can take the edge off. I went to the Haunted Hollow to see what it takes to bring that haunted forest to life.
Getting ready for the Haunted Hollow takes a lot of preparation. Around 30 people of all ages volunteer each year to bring the Hollow to life. And it's a lot of the same people.
We are practically family.
Latex. This family began about 8 years ago when the Hollow first opened. And there's a reason they keep coming back.
I find it a challenge for those who aren't that scared is for me to scare them.
Whenever you're ready. The cast does all their own makeup, complete with a splatter party. They throw red paint on each other to increase the scare factor, and it works on everyone.
College people and adults, and sometimes little kids do come in like kind of terrified, or at least like, I mean, excited to be there, but like they'll just kind of like stand there and like.
When it starts to get dark, this place gets pretty scary. That's why they encourage kids under 8 to not go through the hollows, because they say they can scare anyone.
Grown men scream like little girls and pee their pants.
It is fun to see men scream louder than the girls. Those are my favorite.
Each night, between 300 to 500 people go through the Hollow.
A lot of people from Ogden North and like Preston South. That's our main base. You're going to be wearing the same costume every night, just take it home.
Once costumes and makeup are in place, the crew heads out into the Hollow for a weekend of scares.
Now, it was too dark to film inside the Hollow, but I was able to watch some people go through, and I have to say, there was a lot of screaming. Back to you, Caroline.
Fun. Alicia, is the Haunted Hollow open all week long through October?
See, I thought it was, but it's actually only open Friday and Saturday from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. and tickets are on sale for $9.
Thanks, Alicia. If you didn't know, 1 out of 4 women and 1 out of 7 men will be victims of domestic violence. A display on campus may help drive the point home. The Clothesline Project is part of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Survivors and their loved ones made t-shirts conveying strong and heartfelt messages. They show others they're not alone. For one survivor, it was a friend that helped her overcome abuse and influence where she is today.
Getting involved in this actually helps empower me to help others and to be that one friend for other people.
If you or someone you know are a victim of abuse, Savvy, CAPSA, and Logan Police are available for help. We'll provide a link at the end of our broadcast.
The quad was filled with students last Wednesday, but it wasn't the usual sight of studying or napping. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Alpha Chi Omega raised money by putting together a kickball tournament. 8 teams played in the tournament, but it wasn't all about winning for them. Each team paid a $20 entrance fee, and that money is donated to local groups who aid victims of abuse.
We donate to CAPSA, the local women's shelter, and then we also donate to the Women's Center on campus, and they make a little scholarship for a victim.
Other events are going on all week to help raise awareness. As Halloween comes closer, you might start to see ghosts and goblins roaming the streets. And this week, you might have even seen some zombies. The 3rd annual Zombie Walk was on Monday. Children and parents learned the dance to Thriller, all while dressed up like zombies. There was face painting, a silent auction, and food vendors. All proceeds from the event went to Options for Independence, a nonprofit organization that helps persons with disabilities lead independent lives, but more important than raising money was having fun.
Zombies just bring people in. People love it, and it's way fun. It's very niche crowd, and we like to have something exciting to draw people in, and I think zombies was the way we did it.
The final numbers are still being calculated, but Options estimate they are about $4,000, which they'll use for new loaner equipment for the temporarily disabled.
After the break, ATV's Amy Reed will have your weather forecast.
The current temperature in Logan is 75 degrees.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah, I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Sorry, I've got big ideas.
As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green idea in a big way. Blue Goes Green. Make a difference.
Welcome back. As you might have noticed, it is a beautiful sunny fall day out today. What started off as a chilly morning warmed up, and it is really nice outside. Let's see if that's what's happening across the country. As you can tell, there's not a whole lot going on. There's a few patches of some coverage, but mostly we just have this storm brewing down here in the Gulf, coming up around Texas, but it shouldn't affect us here in Utah. Let's take a look at the state forecast, see what we got. So not any cloud coverage at all. It looks pretty open. It's going to be nice and warm. It's been such a warm fall season so far. And let's take a look at the 7-day to see if that trend will continue as we move on through the week. Today is Wednesday. It's nice and sunny. You guys were walking out and the weather was just lovely. There's a high of 78. As we move in toward the weekend, coming in tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit more cloud coverage, but it will stay pretty warm. It's going to stay at high of 77. It cool down a little bit for the night, going down to 47 degrees. As we're moving into the Boise game on Friday, it's going to be nice weather. We're going to have a little bit of cloud coverage, but it should still be mostly sunny. It's going to stay warm at 75. But as we move into fall break into the weekend, we're going to have a slight chance of showers. The sun should stay out on Saturday, but just be aware there could be a little bit of rain. Still going to stay a little warm at 72 degrees. As we move in, it's going to on Sunday, the sun is probably going to get covered. It's going to start raining, starting to cool down a little more, but it shouldn't become too big of a problem until Monday when we're going to have definite thunderstorms, a little bit of rain, and then it cools down. So we get into Tuesday, the rain should dry up, but it's going to start cooling down, going to stay cool. We're going to start getting those fall temperatures back, and it's going to come down to 60 degrees, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And so the weather should stay nice, so the games should be looking good. Tell us about them, Taylor.
Thanks, Amy. Coming up in sports, volleyball snapped their losing streak, and softball is wrapping up their preseason. We'll show you how both teams are looking. Welcome back. The Aggies went into Saturday riding a 5-match losing streak, but also a 4-match winning streak against San Jose State. The Aggies came out strong, setting up kills like this to Kaylee Kamalu. Utah State kept their momentum, going with blocks like this from Lauren Anderson and serving up a couple aces along their way to a 3-0 win over San Jose. This was the Aggies' first win in the Mountain West this season. After the Aggies lit the A blue, head coach Grayson DuBois credited the win to the whole team being back on the roster.
Feels good, and it feels like it's supposed to feel. Our kids have been working hard, and it's nice to see some results here. We're all healthy, which has made practice a much better practice environment for us.
The Aggies head back on the road to face San Diego State on Thursday. Utah State softball held their 5th preseason game this Saturday at home against Idaho State. The Aggies defense held the bats of Idaho State to 4 runs through the 7 innings with plays like this from Amanda Sheets and ones like this from Paxton Provost. Utah State's offense struggled though, as seen here, and the Aggies couldn't push any runs across home plate. After this loss to the Bengals, the Aggies are now looking to the offseason to work out the kinks.
That's what the offseason is for, is to improve on the little things, get better day by day, so when we are playing in February and March that we're prepared mentally and physically for that.
Utah State will host the College of Southern Idaho this Saturday for a friendly game before diving fully into off-season practices. Now we take you to high school football, where on Thursday the Northridge Knights came to Mountain Crest to see if they stood a chance against the Mustangs. Northridge's Drew Perkins looks like he's going to pass the ball, but instead he runs off to the side, and he's going to make a dive right into the end zone, taking out the other camera guy.
Let's go!
Then the Mustangs return the favor, but it's not quite as exciting. They just keep moving forward until they finally end up in the end zone right here with this run. In the end, the Mustangs won 47-14. The Mustangs are still undefeated, and they're playing against the Clearfield Falcons, who have the exact opposite record at home tonight. 8 teams from around the Mountain West area met at Utah State Saturday for a Quidditch tournament. The tournament is known as the Top of Utah Classic and was started last year. Teams from Boise State, the U, and even our friends from Provo made an appearance. Quidditch is celebrating its 10th year as a sport, and players are trying to distance themselves from the fantasy series which started it all.
I haven't heard the words Harry Potter in practice or at this tournament once. I don't really care to. I like it, but it's separated.
For more information on Utah State's Quidditch Club, visit our Facebook page. We'll have the link at the end of our show. So Jeff, have you ever thought about playing Quidditch?
Well, you know I love Harry Potter, but I wouldn't be able to not make a reference.
Yeah, there's a lot of running around. I didn't know you had to be that athletic to play.
Yeah, and all the while with a PVC pipe between your legs. I think I can do that.
See, I thought it was brooms, and I've seen them out there, and it's pretty competitive.
It gets intense.
Yeah.
Coming up, the military used to hand out chocolates. Now they're receiving them. Find out why.
Plus, a Volkswagen Bug becomes an 18-seater. We'll show you why tight spaces meant big things.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
Welcome back. Do you know about the Forgotten War? Utah State's Korean students held Korean War Memorial Night last week.
The purpose of the memorial was to make sure people remembered veterans in Utah and all over the U.S. Our Jamie Sun brings you part of the history.
Sergeant John Cole fought in World War II and in Korea. He spoke at the Korean War Memorial Night to remember all the people who sacrificed their lives and fought for the war.
These are things that veterans were forgotten for all those years. And it's just one of those things that I saw a need.
This Korean War is often called the Forgotten War, and Korean students and government officials put the event together last week hoping to make sure the next generations remember. Because some
Do you know what Korean War was about?
No, not really.
may be too young to know. And the event organizer Dong-hun Go saw the need.
본인이 8살 때
My mother was 8 years old when she had to escape to places because of the war, and she would always say to not forget these names. They gave her chocolate, and it was one of the few things that made her happy then.
During the Korean War, U.S. soldiers gave this chocolate bar to young kids. Whenever trucks with soldiers passed by, they would shout out, "초콜릿 주세요," or "give me chocolate."
And in return, these chocolates were given back at the event. The event also made sure the next generation stayed in focus with this and some presents.
그 사람들의 희생은 반드시 우리 역사나
We must not forget their sacrifices. It must be remembered in both America and Korea's history. And through these, we cannot let this be called the Forgotten War. We're here because of them.
It means thank you in Korean.
The Korean War Veterans Association is still looking for names that can be recorded and remembered. According to John Cole, there will also be more projects to honor the veterans here in Utah.
There's a new Murdoch dealership in Logan, and it's brought community members piling into its grand open. 5 minutes, 18 people, 1 Volkswagen Bug. High schools and companies around Logan competed for a $500 prize by cramming the most people into a single Bug. When it seemed the Volkswagen was getting full, people still kept piling in. And while some people were getting cozy for the Stuff-A-Bug competitions, others were enjoying pie and listening to live music. But once people were in, they didn't wait long to get out and enjoy the other entertainment.
There's just not an inch of dead space where somebody hasn't been, so pretty tight quarters. They've had fun, and they're really glad to get out when they get out.
Murdoch hopes to have another Stuff-A-Bug contest at an Aggie basketball game at halftime this season.
Art and science aren't always compatible, but Friday's Science Unwrapped showed just how connected those two things can be. Students and community members came together in the Eccles Science Learning Center to listen to environmental artist Betsy Damon. Damon's art aims to show people just how much water goes into their bodies and how much damage water pollution causes. After the lecture, community members got hands-on learning experiences sponsored by different USU science clubs. Even though Damon is an artist and not a scientist, her lecture pointed out the need for more than one way to promote clean water.
Clean water is such a huge issue throughout the entire world. Most countries don't have sanitary conditions or clean water to drink from. And so just combining the two approaches, I'm sure is helpful for the entire world.
2015 is the Year of Water, and the next Science Unwrapped will continue that theme on November 6th at 7 p.m. in the Eccles Science Learning Center.
Thanks for joining us on this week's ATV News. You can catch all of our latest shows and Aggie TV at aggietvnews.com.
But before we go, let's talk a little bit about fall break, right?
I'm really excited.
Are you doing anything fun?
No, I'm just staying at home, but I'm very excited to have a day off.
See, last minute, my parents actually, they decided to take a trip to Vegas. So I get to go to Vegas, you guys.
Nice.
I
Wow.
know. I'm really excited, but like the saying says, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Well, how's your poker face?
Actually, I think I have a pretty good one. I know it wouldn't seem like it. People think that I'm really easy to read, but I
wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah.
Personally. Nothing against you. I just
yeah, I
don't
know.
think you have a great poker face.
I know, but I am competitive. Honestly,
Oh.
when you get me in card games, I'm really competitive. So.
All right. Well, sorry.
So join us back here next Wednesday for more news around the Valley. Links to the stories will be on our Facebook page. Have a great week.